Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, aka The Ignited Teacher, and what I do on this channel is I help math teachers or struggling students to effectively manage their classrooms and to increase student achievement. So today's video is a vlog video, and in this video I'm going to talk about my reflective process for looking back at the first semester of the school year. Now, one of the things that has made me stop and think about my strategies is my pursuing my National Board certification in Early Adolescence Mathematics. Last school year, I started on component 2, and I thought I was a highly reflective person, but National Board makes you go into depth and really think about how you're teaching, what effect you're having on the instruction, and are the students really making the gain. So I'm going to talk about that today. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. So this year started off in virtual learning, the first 6 weeks of school. And currently, as I am recording this video, our COVID-19 rates, positivity rates are through the roof. So I don't know what's going to happen from here until the next, well, between here and the next 2 weeks, because it's just, things are crazy. It really is. I'm not a big fan of virtual, but our elementary teachers are really taking a hit when it comes to the COVID-19 positivity rates and also being infected. Most of them are coming from the elementary level. And as I think about that, my high school students, a lot of them are still virtual. I think, how are we going to, really moving forward, what is educating students going to look like? Because to be honest with you, some of my students are thriving with virtual learning. Some of them are not doing so well because it gives them a place to hide. And some of my students have disappeared altogether. Now, I'm not sure moving forward if virtual learning will go away. That's one of the things that I've been thinking about. And I'm kind of been reflecting on what am I going to do moving forward, making technology, which it was already a part, but being really mindful of how to really integrate it into everything that we do, because we were kind of forced to do it now. Well, not kind of. We were forced to do it now, which I used Edpuzzle, I used Nearpod, but it wasn't something that I did first, because paper and pencil was first. And now we've had to think about how does it change the way that we teach and how we look at gains and the effect or the lack of access to paper and pencil. How is it affecting teaching and learning? Now, with my National Board certification, I am attempting to do component 3. Now, component 3 is a video component, but it doesn't, I don't know. As you can see, I'm tongue-tied. I don't know if it's doable in the virtual world. I know that we can do it, but as I reflect on my students this year, my process, I've been looking at their gains. And a lot, even though we're virtual, my students are still, based on our progress monitoring, the kids are still learning and they're moving. So the myth of virtual learning not working is one of those things that is the furthest from the truth. Now, does it work for everybody? No, but the ones that it's working for, it's working. I found that Explain Everything has been my saving grace. Some of you all may have watched the videos that I created on Explain Everything. It's a very, very cheap, like when I say cheap, dirt cheap, whiteboard platform that really helps math teachers. And if you put a link in the top of this video to link to some of those videos that I have on Explain Everything. But looking back on this year, you know, Explain Everything is one of those platforms that I would definitely use and keep using after this. We're going into testing season and I don't know what that's going to look like. You know what? Yes, I do. It's going to look like a mess. So I'm not even, who am I kidding? You know, I think that, you know, the state of Texas kind of thinks that it's in control, and it's not. We, you know, had testing and didn't even get most of the kids to come in to retest. And I think it's irresponsible to have them come in when their parents are really trying to keep them safe. You know, just kind of thinking about those things in the grand scheme of things of how parents, you know, even in urban schools, because I'm in an urban school, what role do they play? You know, because some people downplay the engagement that, you know, urban parents play, but I think that, you know, it's not the same type of engagement, but it's engagement nonetheless. So back to my teaching. Just kind of my little soapbox. Back to my teaching, I covered integers, and I think I did a better job because with component 2 with National Board, I had to reflect on differentiation and I did slope. And as I was looking at my students' products, because the products that they made were Google Slides, which my intervention children, I'm a math interventionist, but I still teach classes. I'm not out of the classroom. So my students created a Google slide to show positive, negative, and undefined slopes, and they had to relate it to real life. But as I reflected on it, I really realized that I am a real good conceptual teacher. I can drive it home with conceptual learning. But one of the things that I realized that is something that I have to pay attention to, which I've done really better this year, is connecting that abstract to the conceptual. Now, do I do it? Yes, but I think I focus more on the conceptual piece because the students are struggling so much with it than the actual connecting it and having it make sense. So this year with distributive property, when I tell you, it was a really good feeling to connect the distributive property back to multiplication. I did a better job because last year, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how to teach that conceptually. And I don't know what brought on this ding, 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 ding light. It was really weird. I don't know. But for some reason, it clicked. So 3 times, open parentheses, times x plus 2 is 3 groups of x plus 2. Go figure. That's a 3rd grade skill. And it really helped my students with the distributive property. And I'm kind of anxious to see. I know one of my students, he's really has just taken off. And I think that was, the gaps were being plugged because he has a 92 in his Algebra 1 class. Whoop, whoop. And my other student, she's doing well. Those are the face-to-face kids. I haven't really checked in with the other ones on their grades, but I guess I need to. But we've really made some gains, and I think for me, I've done a better job because last year was my first year in this role at the high school, but I think I've done a better job of connecting all the dots because that's one of the jumps that I've had to make in high school is that the vertical alignment strand is this long. This is the vertical alignment strand in elementary school. So it takes longer to cover it, but I have to make sure that I'm connecting it with the algorithm and making sure that the kids are proficient in both, but mostly the algorithm. That's a jump that I've had to make, because in elementary, everything is really conceptual, still even at the 5th grade level. Whereas in high school, the curriculum expects the students to be fluent with like equations, because the conceptual part is in 6th grade, but that's where my students are. So for me, I have to get the kids to make that jump. And last year I was not, but I did a better job this year because I was cognizant when I did component 2 for differentiation, because I think in the last part of the component, they asked, what would you do differently? And what did I find out? I just found out that even though my students could tell me what slope was, they still could not apply it. And that was one of the things that I was trying to focus on, and they didn't. But I think I'm doing a better job this year because I'm aware of what's, my issue. And it's really not even an issue, just kind of a jump that I had to make from elementary to high school. So here's my question to you. Are you a reflective teacher? How do you restart the mid-year? I know some people do resolutions. I'm not a resolution person, but professionally, I look at my teaching and how I need to, if I need to adjust anything. But let me know in the comment section if you are a teacher that reflects mid-year, or do you wait till the end of the school year? Let me know in the comment section. So that's all I have for you all today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when I go live. I also have a live streaming show, so you don't want to miss that. And I'll see you all in my next video.